Hi everybody, I'm Hannah Battah, and thank you for joining us on Fox 4 at 4. We've been covering this developing story throughout the afternoon. We know at least one of those injured was a 17-year-old student shot in the leg. We're waiting to hear more about the other 3 people with injuries, and so far there is no indication of any arrests. Students are now being reunited with parents at nearby Eagle Stadium. Right now the scene is at the scene right now is Fox 4's Stephen Dow with the latest as we wait for a lot of questions to be answered about this situation. Stephen.
There's going to be a lot of questions from reporters, and talking about the elephant in the room that I've been talking about all afternoon is this time last year there was a shooting, and I spoke to the new at the time Dallas ISD police chief who said that this could have been preventable. So the one question is going to be, was this incident preventable? Like you mentioned, the only information that we have from sources and from Councilman Tennel Atkins on the record is that a student was shot in the leg, but we've been hearing reports from DFR of other injuries. We don't know the extent of those injuries. Students started calling their parents around the 1 o'clock hour. Multiple parents that I talked to on and off camera were telling me about their student calling them multiple times or texting them multiple times, and unfortunately this is kind of the routine of what we're used to just in general in schools in America, not just in Dallas, not just in Texas, but all over the country. And so then everyone started reacting, right? Multiple law enforcement agencies coming to the school, setting up an area for the students to be before the parents reunify with them at the football stadium, which is on campus. When we got here, not too long after the shooting, things were calm, which meant that the campus was already secure. One big question that we don't have the answer to is, who is the shooter, and is that shooter in custody? That's one of the main things we hope to get an answer for. I want you to listen to a 9th grade student. I talked to her after reuniting with her godmother who picked her up. She said she heard about last year's shooting. This is her first year in high school, and now she's living one herself.
My teacher, she was going over our work, and we heard a gunshot. And at first I was trying to process it because usually they have little they smack, they're around the halls and they play around. So I was processing it until it went off again, and it was faster this time. So that's when me and my classmates, we got up and we went behind the teacher's desk. And I was making sure my classmates were okay, and then we went into the storage room and we had waited there until we got escorted out.
So just the reality of a situation of what teenagers are just dealing with in schools in general. And so we know that this school has metal detectors and a process that students go through when they arrive in the morning. So we'll have to wait and see if there was a failure in that process or if it was another process. Councilman Tennel Atkins telling our Lori Brown that in his words, from the information that he got, he said a door may have been propped open. And so was this during the lunch period? Where were the checks and balances as to if a door was ajar on a campus? And so a lot of unanswered questions we're waiting for. Likely Stephanie Elizalde, the superintendent, and the Dallas ISD police chief to answer questions from the media.
Yeah, and Stephen, you pointed out that you are standing in nearly the same spot as you did almost exactly 1 year ago, covering that separate school shooting at the same school, Wilmer-Hutchins. Remind us what happened last spring.
Yeah, so literally almost a year to the date. I think it happened a couple of days ago if you want to go by the calendar. But a student came to school late and their bag check, students have clear book bags here, but that gun was in a bag and it made its way past the entrance of the school, and then it resulted in a shooting. Now, in that case, things were able to come to a conclusion as far as a suspect being in custody and whatnot. We don't have the information about a suspect in custody in this case. We just talked to a parent about 30 minutes ago. She just moved to this area. She said it was her child's first year in this, and she said she was wondering why her child had to bring a clear book bag to school, and she said now today she understands why, because things like this happen. And so, yeah, it's the unfortunate situation for the district officials that they'll have to answer. One time is a lapse in protocol. The chief at the time telling me himself this could have been prevented, and so now he's going to be faced with trying to answer how something like this happened again.
Yeah, it's hard for those families, Stephen, especially the ones who are reliving from the tragedy last year. All right, thank you. Now we want to transition to Fox 4's Lori Brown. She has also been talking to parents and first responders at the high school there. Lori, what can you tell us today?
Hannah, we are still waiting for Dallas ISD to give us an official briefing about exactly what happened. There is still a huge police presence here at Wilmer-Hutchins High School. The latest information that we have from Dallas Fire is that 4 people were transported to 2 different hospitals. 1 victim is in serious condition. We're told the other 3 had non-life-threatening injuries. Jason Evans, a spokesman for Dallas Fire, said that 3 victims had gunshot wounds and a 4th appeared to be grazed by a bullet. We spoke with a mother earlier who was able to reunite with her 2 students who were inside the school when the shots rang out.
I'm thinking about taking them out and putting them in homeschool. Because it's something, I can't keep going through this as a parent. I'm telling you, it's very frightening to ever think about losing your child and your kids. It's very, this is terrible. But they over there now, thank God they standing, but my heart goes out to the parents that had to deal with this tragedy today.
Earlier, we spoke with Mayor Pro Tem Tennel Atkins, who said that the shooter was somehow able to get in through a side door. We're waiting for more details about exactly how that transpired. Dallas Fire also said that 3 of the people transported were between 15 and 18 years old. A 4th person's age was unknown, and we have heard that there was a 17-year-old who had a gunshot wound to his leg. It's unclear if the shooter is still on the loose in custody or one of the ones transported to the hospital. So we will continue to stand by here and let you know when we get more information. Hannah?
Yeah, hopefully get some answers on those shortly. Lori Brown, thank you so much for your reporting, and we'll be sure to continue following this developing news throughout the evening. Here is a live look now from the school. We are expecting an update from Dallas ISD sometime before the end of the hour. We also have more reporters there on the ground, so we'll be sure to continue checking in on this story as soon as we learn more details. So be sure to stick with Fox 4 on air and online for the very